Alright, finally got a 4 ingot team. Or I guess some budget team at all. Beyond, I think I originally did a 7 ingot team on this stage, but figured out a 4 ingot team, and this team has fantastic synergy. I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier. Hope's D-Shell is going to up everybody's, especially Strago's, Brave damage here. Strago is 0 out of 3, so we're going to open with a Brave to Death, which will give him both of his buffs, both 2 turns of Soul of Thamasa, and his other buff? Is that the Descendant of the Magi? Or Magi, or whatever? Aerith did a Prayer of the Cetra to get the Prayer of the Cetra buff up, because she is only at 1 out of 3. And then Seal Evil to get the Seal Evil buff up, because it is amazing. Yeah, I've used Aerith in pretty much all of my budget runs since pulling her LD. I mean, I technically playlist them under budget runs, but I might as well just make them all an Aerith saga at this point. Not on purpose, but yeah. Anyways, Strago hitting some Quasars. The orb gets a little tricky. I was originally running Kryl instead of Hope, and Hope Aerith is just... Hope and Aerith are a fantastic combination, but I was running Kryl instead of Hope earlier, but Kryl just has too many single target Brave attacks for this, although now that I'm using Strago, I really only had to run this team once or twice in order to get everything to work. Strago's great for the break on demand and the massive damage. You don't really have to worry about burning Strago out when the turn count is only 65 or less. And then when I pull my friend Emperor, it's just going to get bonkers. Like, look at that. Hope's hitting for full 9s. Even Strago here, hitting for 9,000 plus damage on his EX at 0 out of 3. His EX is kind of weak until you get the 3rd ingot on him. But yeah. Yeah, Hope and Aerith is actually a really good combination. Their stuff, I guess, synergize as well. There are the auras, the buffs, the debuffs, and it's only 1 debuff for Hope and 1 debuff for Aerith. I mean, yeah, I guess Hope has a defense down, but it's not framed, and it's... you could give or take it. It's not like Emperor with buff management. Which is half the reason I brought an Emperor friend. I don't have to worry about debuffs. That, and with Hope and Aerith, I can swap Strago out for Emperor, and Emperor will just deal a butt ton of damage. Like, I kind of want to... I almost regret not pulling for Emperor. Although, I haven't uploaded it to YouTube or anything like that yet, but I actually did a run of this a few hours ago with Trey, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. Let's see, we're gonna use Onion Knight here to unbreak B, and then we'll break B again, and more importantly, get free skills for Strago, a free Quasar in for Strago. Because Aerith benefits almost nothing from the free skill. And even Hope, I was like, I guess I'll use the C65 or something. Yeah, I just ended up going for a shell to battery everybody. Although they both have red shields, which means they're about to do big HP attacks, so I probably should have C65 with Hope, but whatever. Oh, I guess I did plan on doing it. Just not on the free turn. Using Jack to put his debuff on, since I'm probably going to pull Emperor out pretty soon. And I wanted to break A. Yeah, that's probably the right way to go for Aerith, quite frankly. Good amount of damage-ish, kind of. There's the free Quasar. So, when I bring my friend Emperor out, I don't want the enemies to have high defense like how they do now. With their shields glowing, they have high defense. And once they take a turn, their shields will stop glowing and their defense will come back to normal. That's why Strago is putting out some pretty low numbers right now, especially compared to the test run I did earlier. Like, Strago should be hitting for 9,000s. Kind of like how Jack is right there. But Strago isn't because of their super high defense. Hope to use this team again in the future. It synergizes really well. It's fun to find these strong teams when you don't expect it. Okay, good. I do see 65 because, yeah, like, they're gonna hit hard pretty soon. This might be a decent Brave to death. Yep. Good stuff. Strago auto-braking can mess up the enemy's gimmicks in this stage. I bet Gabranth would do quite well in this stage too. But I did not pull for Gabranth, and don't really regret it. I mean, he's good. I wish he were more what I was looking for. You know, nothing against anybody who pulled for Gabranth. You know, he's certainly not useless or bad, just not what I was looking for in a character at the time. And I think his model's really cool. And his animations are definitely really cool. But, yeah, it just wasn't what I was looking for. Emperor, I was on the fence the whole time his banner was out. His banner may still be out, I don't know. But, because I really like Emperor's animations, and I like the high damage potential. Emperor has multiple Brave dumps and Brave hits. But, I think I threw about 85 or 90 tickets at Emperor and just said, well, I guess it's not meant to be. Which is fine, because I have Squall fully built, even with a BT burst. And Squall can do high damage too. I mean, not quite to the level of Emperor's, but Squall doesn't take any debuffs. But then again, Emperor lowers the enemy defense by, I think, at least 30%, if not more, with his debuffs, with his traps or debuffs or whatever. And then Emperor also has a speed down aura, and Squall doesn't have any of those. Alright, so took those HP attacks. The enemies should have lowered their defense now, since they no longer have the red glowing auras on the shields. I'm gonna have to heal soon, but rather than be inefficient and use Aerith's Healing Wind, I'm just going to rely on her and Hope's EXs. And just hope I don't get hit with an HP attack. I suppose if either of them come out of break, then I'm screwed. And see, that's more like it. Those are the kind of numbers we want to see from Quasar. Look at that damage. Anyways, now that I know their defense is down, it's about time to pull out Emperor. So, on Strago's next turn, I'll do that. And here, I thought, oh, I'll just unbreak A. But A still had the Ice Resist down debuff, causing it to do 0 damage, and then A comes out of break anyways. So, like, it worked out in an unexpected way. Used Hope's LD, which ended up healing everybody and reapplying D-Shell. Fury Brand will also heal us up a bit. And we're in a much better position now. EX with Strago. And last resort to do a whole butt ton of damage again. I had hope as a 1 out of 3 unit for a long time, but man, at 3 out of 3, his last resort attack just hits so hard. Then again, everything's hitting hard right now, I suppose. But yeah, full damage attacks like that are really nice. When you can put yourself in a position where you're doing enough brave damage. And that's one of the reasons why I was debating so hard about pulling for Emperor. It certainly never hurts to have extra damaging units for boss rush. Same with Aranea. I didn't end up pulling for Aranea because of reasons, but hey, Aranea is fantastic for boss rush. So everyone who did will certainly get their gems worth, their money's worth, or whatever. Look at that damage. That's like EX or LD level damage. Well, I mean, it was an LD, technically. But yeah, Strago just hits so stupidly hard. It's fantastic. As opposed to Aerith, who's also hitting hard, technically, but not Strago hard. It's one of the reasons why I felt comfortable leaving Strago at 0 out of 3. Because his Quasar still hits hard. Oh, no longer doing 9s. But, yeah, again, 174,000 damage from a skill, and not like an EX or an LD skill. So yeah, Strago, what did his units do? I think one gives stats, one of them just starts him with 1 or 2 of his buffs. And the other one makes his EX hit harder. Which is fine, it's good. Actually his third one's probably, yeah, his 3 out of 3 makes his EX hit harder. But it also gives him better dual cast, or whatever it's called when he has Soul of Thamasa up, his HP attack. I don't remember if it hits more or not because I haven't looked into it in a while, but I know it brave refunds in between the 2 HP dumps. So if you're having longevity issues with Strago, you definitely want to give him some ingots. Well, give him all 3 ingots. It would help with his longevity issues, but when we have fights that have to be less than 65 turns, longevity is less of an issue. Especially when you're able to swap Strago out for the friend unit, and when you have an Ununite call to give him a free skill. You know, little ways like that to get around any potential longevity issues for Strago. So, getting close to pulling the orb back. And they have their red shields again. Luckily we've fully healed by now. Aerith's Seal Evil. Extra attack doesn't care about defense, just like X-Death doesn't. See, those are less of the big glorious numbers we want to see, although they're still big and glorious. Yeah, 186,000 on each unit in 1 turn. I'll take those numbers. This is kind of rough. They have the red shields and they batteried themselves like crazy, but nothing we can't handle. Get the Quasar in with the free skill. Pretty crappy Quasar compared to some of the earlier ones we've had, but I can't imagine using anything else for the free skill. A's almost broken now, and that orb is getting low. I mean, luckily we still have Ramu, but just in case the orbs get too low. But yep, there we go. Hope was able to break it. So now, I believe at this point, I'm waiting for the red shields to go away, and then I'll pull out Emperor, so that way Emperor can do high numbers. I'm kind of racing the turn limit count, but kind of not. I'd say right now I'm still racing the orbs more than anything. Luckily, Hope has a couple of AoE Brave attacks because Aerith only has Seal Evil. And luckily, Emperor just destroys this stage. As we'll see in a minute. Nope, they still have the red shields though. Brave to Death was the right call for that. Strago's getting a little low on his skills, and so I might as well use some Brave 2 Deaths. Although I guess I could have just as easily used another Grand Delta. But whatevs. Healing Wind because I expect to take some big HP attacks now that they're below 50%. Especially against Hope. Oh, and it missed. Oh, brother. And there's the HP attack that I expected. Now we bring out Emperor. The amount of damage he's going to do in these 5 turns is just bonkers. Fury Brand, that'll heal up Aerith a bit. She has 1 buff of something left. Hope Seal Evil didn't just wear off. I think it did. Doi. I mean, it's not going to matter too much because... yeah. It's not going to matter too much. Even if that was the case. It's fine that we're EXing here instead of... or not EXing... yeah, EXing here. Oh, low battery. It's fine that we're EXing here instead of using Hellgate, due to the fact that we want the traps to trigger. And so... we didn't need to necessarily push them back there right away. So, it's a good time as any. There's the Seal Evil. So Emperor's traps weren't doing full damage, I believe, because Seal Evil wore off. It wore off. Which is also why we got a couple of debuffs on ourselves as well. Since Seal Evil prevents debuffs from being applied. Another great thing about it. Yeah, that's more like it. That's the kind of damage you want to see from the traps. And we no longer have to worry about those orbs. That's for sure. So this is an awkward... Didn't want to have to summon Ramu with Emperor out, but whatever. It's either that or Aerith. Risk Aerith taking some big hits. And like, yeah, Aerith has last stand, but that's a lot to come back from too. Though I will say with Emperor's burst effect out, stuff hits really hard under summon. Even Aerith is breaking 100,000. This would be a fine time to purification. Like, yeah, I don't think they're going to get enough turns to run out of it at this point, the D-Shell buff. And we're under Emperor's Burst effect, so might as well get those multi-hitting hits out. And those attacks with multiple brave hits out while we still can. Emperor does so much damage. It's funny. This is a big launch, considering the team's not a launch team. But everyone had full bravery, so that worked out. Yep, good time to Grand Delta. So much damage. We're really low on turns though, so we need to get that damage out. Like you'd think having Strago or Emperor to do so much damage, the turn count wouldn't get so close, but oh, that's just the kind of fight this one is. That and Aerith doing low damage on her turn. Like 38,000 right there doesn't help, but still Aerith is a fantastic unit. I've used her in all my recent budget runs ever since pulling her LD, so yeah. She just does so much, even if it's not damage. That's more like it. And then, Quasar and Emperor's traps will go off. And that will probably finish it. Sorry, bub. You were paralyzed. Well, they're still alive, and I only have Hope and Aerith. I don't have any. By the time Strago gets a turn, the battle will be over. So I'm just using some shells here, and that guy's definitely gonna die. That guy will maybe die because this does full damage. So using some shells to battery up Hope. And so close. And Aerith will do it. Exactly 65 turns. Still out of Grand Delta remaining that I could have used, which would have made this come not quite so close, but hey, still made the turn count, thank goodness. That was fun. Strago's a lot of fun to use. Whenever I can make him work. I wonder if I should invest in his high armor. I should probably invest in Aerith's. I keep using her. I'll probably do that soon. 1 ingot in Aerith, 0 ingots in Strago.